NYPD Chief of Department Jeffrey Madry.
Thank you. Good afternoon, members of the media. By now, just a few moments ago, all of you should have received a video from DCPI. And what this video shows is that yesterday, on March 14th, 10 to 15 minutes prior to the terrible event that happened here at Hoyt and Skimmerhorn, a male entered the subway station on Nostrand Avenue. He did not pay his fare. He gets onto a Manhattan-bound A train, and he eventually gets into a dispute with another male. He eventually pulls a firearm out during that dispute, and ultimately he's disarmed and shot with his own gun. The reason why we wanted to bring this additional information to you, and again, this is not even a 24-hour-old incident, and evidence is still unfolding, but we wanted to really underscore the importance of when we keep our subway system safe. Not only does it require for members of the police department to be down there and members of the community to also help us out, because it was incredible what people from the community did yesterday. People who tried to intervene, people who actually recorded the incident, which gave us additional evidence that we needed to piece together questions that we had. But it's also important that the NYPD enforces quality of life. It's important that we enforce theft of service and people were not paying the fare. Oftentimes we see people enter to the subway station looking to cause harm, and they never pay the fare. So this is why we stress to all officers it's important to address theft of service, but at the same time I want to stress that we never ever diminish our officers' authority to show discretion. If it's a young child who doesn't have the money to pay fare, if it's a working parent, someone looking for a job who doesn't have the money to pay fare, our officers have that discretion to speak to the people, understand what happened, record their name, but do not issue them a fine. So we will continue to be in our subways. We will continue to address theft of services, people not paying at the turnstile. But I want New Yorkers to rest assured that we will use our discretion and be fair to people as well.
Just.
Absolutely. And you know what? Commissioner Daughtry, our Commissioner of Operations, has been enforcing, he's been down there leading the charge, enforcing theft of services, quality of life conditions down in the subway system. And I'll just let him speak a little bit about what he's been doing down there and why he's been doing it.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Department Madry. Just like the Chief said, sometimes people ask why would we do such a big operation for somebody not paying the $2.90 fare? It's not fair for the average New Yorker, the regular day New Yorker, to go to work every day, swipe their Metro card, pay their fare. But like the Chief said, we are seeing a small group of people, a small group of individuals that we catch during these fare evasion operations.
We're going to break away from Commissioner Daughtry for a moment as he lays out a horrifying incident that transpired yesterday at 4:45 p.m. on a Manhattan-bound A train. We're going to show you that moment. Viewer discretion is advised. If you have young children, please remove them from the room. Take a look.
No, I'm getting out. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. Yo, give me that arm now, baby. Let me out. 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 Let me out.
Emily, it was a jarring moment, and just to take our viewers through the video. The video begins, you see a fight ensue, and it seems to be a fist fight. You see a woman off to the side who appears to be associated with one of the men. These are just the facts as we see them and as laid out on some local news reporting. She appears to have some sort of object, and the next thing you know, the 36-year-old man in the video is seen bleeding. He appears to have incurred some sort of injury. Then all of a sudden, you see this man, the 36-year-old man, take out a gun, and then the camera breaks away. And there's a tussle between a 36-year-old man and a 32-year-old man, and ultimately that 32-year-old man with the 36-year-old man's weapon allegedly fired upon him, and he is now in critical condition, and you see subway goers flee away from the scene. We're just picking up the facts, but one fact is for sure, if you're someone who depends on the New York City subway, if you're a mom who takes your son or daughter to school every day on that subway and you depend on it, this is terrifying.
The video made me sick to my stomach, and I can't imagine what it was like to experience that in person, Kaylee. The feeling that I kept being overcome by was that trapped feeling that you can imagine. I'm getting chills and just talking about it because the subway was moving. So as we heard there, that poor woman who was screaming, let me off, but the train was moving. So the whole time that this video was showing the fight, it was moving.
We're going to take you back to the press conference. A lot of questions to be answered, but let's hope we get them.
All right, so we'll take just a couple questions. As you know, this is still an active investigation, so we'll take a couple questions, and then we'll transition to, we will transition to St. Patrick's Day security. Carlos?
Juliet Papa, 10-10 wins.
Chief or Commissioner, if involved when you stop somebody from therapy, is that involved in surgery, procedure?
So when the officers engage an individual that does hop the turnstile, they ask them for their identification, and they do a warrant check to see if the individual is a recidivist, where he cannot get a transit recidivist, where he cannot get a tab summons, he has to get a criminal summons, or if he has a warrant. If the officer does find that person that has a warrant, immediately they place under arrest, search incidental to lawful arrest. They do recover weapons, knives, drugs, etc.
We move over. Andrew Siff, NBC.
Chief, is there body camera video? We're talking about the in-court cops and the transit cops responding so quickly and things are going crazy. So their body cam video would most likely show this. Is it possible to release some of that body cam video to give us a sense of what they went through?
Well, yeah, I can't release that body worn camera just yet. Remember, this incident's not even 24 hours old. This is still an active investigation by the Kings County District Attorney's Office, along with members from the 84th Precinct Detective Squad, Transit Detective Squad. But what we're doing here, and I know we're kind of piecemealing information out, but we just want to make sure we're updating New Yorkers and updating the media as much as we can. So we wanted to provide this additional information that we got. But as the investigation unfolds, I'm sure we'll be releasing more video. We'll be doing further updates, and ultimately our great district attorney here in Kings County will make a decision of what's going to happen as far as charges.
We're going to go inside the district.
Looking at that video, it seems like this person seems perhaps disturbed, and it seems as though it's the type of person that we've all seen on the subway before. First of all, are you identifying him, and does he have any priors?
He is identified. I'm not going to speak to priors at the moment because the detectives are still investigating, so I don't want to speak to that. I don't know what's sealed, what's open for discussion, but it's part of the active investigation. I saw that video. I think I had the same thoughts as you. It seems like the male was making inferences. It's a police officer as he was speaking to the person he was having a dispute with. And again, it's just something that is very alarming. We know that we have people in the subway that suffer from mental illness.